This feels like fascism. Oh my goodness. So I'm sure many of you guys are aware, but the Free Speech Party is at it again. They are fighting tooth and nail, okay, night and day to protect our freedom of speech. And one such institution that is assisting them in their valiant effort is going to be Texas Tech. Now, what happened is that you had a student with a MAGA cap and a sign mourning the loss of his Lord and Savior, Charlie Kirk. And you had another black student who was not too friendly of his Lord and Savior, Charlie Kirk. And what this black female student did was utilize her First Amendment, her God-given right, as they say, of freedom of speech. Now, she was saying, F your homie, Kirk is dead, something along those lines.
He's out of line, but he's right.
But I will say that you Republicans, that conservatives, without a doubt, libertarians, I already know what they're going to say, that they will not agree with what she's saying, but they will fight tooth and nail for her to say it, okay? Because they believe in freedom of speech. And what? So apparently that's not what happened. They expelled her. So that changes things. Apparently, they expelled the black girl. And then we had the governor, Greg Abbott, who also praised this decision. I don't know. I find this hard to believe that Republicans or conservatives would be praising someone to be expelled from school for their freedom of speech, especially since we have Charlie Kirk, who put up a post talking about how there was no such thing as hate speech, okay, and that freedom of speech is important. This is what they're going off of right now, that, hey, all Charlie Kirk did was to engage in freedom of speech, was to engage in discourse, right, to engage in debate. And I find it absolutely hypocritical that they would then fire this girl, okay, a student, who was just engaging in her freedom of speech. Very fascinating behavior. But it gets worse, because you want to know what they also did? They charged her with assault.
Beta!
Now, I know what you're going to say, Lucas, if she assaulted him, then she has every right to go to jail and be arrested for assault. And listen, I agree. I don't think people should be assaulting anyone. And I just happened to get a glimpse of what transpired and what they, saw as assault. And for those of you who may, be have a weak stomach, I advise you to turn away because it may be a bit graphic, okay? Maybe a bit graphic.
Look at me, everybody. Look at me.
You. Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Oh my God. Even seeing it a second time, it puts my stomach in knots. Do you see how violent she was, okay, when she tipped the brim of his cap up? Clearly, this is a violent criminal. Clearly, she deserves to be arrested on assault. Now, I don't know what to tell you, but this is why I say this is light fascism. Because we can see from the top of the United States, when it comes to the president, of him trying to revoke visas because he doesn't like what people are saying about his friend Charlie Kirk. We see right here how they expelled her for saying what they constantly were talking about, how they were champions of freedom of speech. They expelled her for such. And then going and use a light tip of the brim of his hat as a reason to charge her with assault.
Damn.
Now, listen, we've seen other people do far more than that and get off with a tap on the wrist. Heck, the case I always love bringing up is when they say, hey, the kid who was charged of violating a girl, well, he came from a good family. We've seen this a multitude of times, just a myriad of cases. But you have to understand, when you have racists and badges, they will use the law against you. That's what you have to understand. When you have racists in the courts, when you have racists at the highest court of the land, at the Oval Office, at the VP, when you have racists on the Supreme Court, this is what they are doing. This is why I say light fascism, because it's not yet a dictatorship, but they are absolutely using the powers that they have to oppress and silence any type of dissenting opinion. What we are witnessing transpire is that those that dislike Charlie Kirk, those that were indifferent to what happened to Charlie Kirk, they are being targeted. You're tracking them, trying to dox them. Multiple people have been doxxed. They are trying to get them fired from their jobs, all as a cry and scream about freedom of speech. Okay? All as a cry and scream about cancel culture. Because I also want to say, hey, you can say some wicked, evil, heinous stuff, but there are going to be consequences for for what you say. What were they saying? Well, Lucas, that's cancel culture. And then when we tried to enact said consequences for someone saying heinous things, what did they do? They gave Shiloh Hendricks, a white woman, single parent, gave her nearly $1 million and said, hey, this is the end of cancel culture. But now we're starting to see that I guess cancel culture is okay when they do it. They happen to turn off when it comes to someone that they like, and they happen to turn on when it comes to someone that they don't like. They're always, as you can see, always the victim. The lineage of evil, I keep on telling you this, will always find a way to be a victim. You cannot trust a word that they say because they are hypocrites. We see that they don't care about the Second Amendment. We see that they don't care about the First Amendment. We see that they don't care about mental health, as we just saw with Fox News talking about maybe we should involuntarily just lethally inject the poor. And this is who y'all voted for. These are the people that you listen to.
Wake up, nigga.
Now, what I will say, this isn't the first time that they have targeted people for their free speech. If you all remember, there was a time and point where people were criticizing Israel. And we have President Trump, who did multiple executive orders on behalf of a foreign nation, okay, to silence and mitigate people's free speech. We had Elon Musk, who did the same thing. You are now hearing Netanyahu and Jerry Seinfeld talking about that, saying free Palestine is tantamount of you advocating for genocide Jews.
Free Palestine is just today's version of Heil Hitler.
That's what they are doing. They are trying to manipulate free speech for their benefit. And because we have Donald Trump in office, that's exactly what will happen, as we can see. All right? Any friend of Donald Trump, any ally of Donald Trump, he will utilize the powers that he has to curtail and oppress and silence any dissenting opinion. And that, my friends, whether you like Charlie Kirk or not, that is dangerous. That leads to fascism, that leads to a dictatorship, that leads to the destruction of this country. So whether right or left, you should be alarmed by this. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think, whether or not you believe, Lucas, you're just a racist. You're just a hateful person. Or if you don't believe, I understand that that's an easy coping mechanism in order to not have to deal with the cognitive dissonance that you're suffering from, not having to deal with the truth and the fact of the matter and the words that Charlie Kirk has spewed over the years, all right, being shown to you and being put in your face. I understand you may not like that. So there are coping mechanisms such as, you took it out of context. Well, you're a racist. Sure, Jan. Anyways, if you happen to disagree, you know where to find me Thursday through Saturday. Disagreement day, there'll be a number on screen. You call in, we duke it out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think about this case. And subscribe. And that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing. F your homie, Kirk is dead. Something along those lines.